Today we're out here, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is out here in South Bay at South Bay RV Park. It's one of our approved dive sites in the county. We're doing a level 1 to level 2 dive transition with a victim rescue, simulation, live scenario in real time. We have units out here from Belglade, South Bay, and Pahokee. And we're all working together at a battalion level training to execute a live scenario and practice like we play, as realistic as possible. This scenario, we're simulating a kayaker that was kayaking in a lake, which can happen throughout the county in Florida. He or she fell off the kayak, was not wearing a PFD, flotation device, and was actively drowning, screaming for help. Witness happened to see what's going on. They left to call 911. When they came back, the victim had submerged. The witness provided all the crucial information for the responding units to execute the call from that point.
You saw him right there on that boat.
I saw him kayaking, and when I looked back about here, the kayak was floating away.
Level 1 dive is where we can go out in mask, fins, and snorkel. Basically, every unit in the county has that equipment that they can execute a rescue, almost like a lifeguard type rescue, where they can make an immediate save.
And he was swimming, yelling for help.
If someone's actively drowning, and potentially if they're drowning, they can at least find where they were or where they were last seen.
When did you see him last above water?
It was about 4 or 5 minutes ago.
When we do a level 1 dive, we incorporate rope for safety, and it also helps us execute a pattern. We'll take the line and sweep the water in a pattern, in like a cone-shaped pattern, to help isolate where the person may have actually gone down. And we usually like to have a guy, 2 or 3 people on shore, because we have a swimmer now. We have lifeguard buoys, and they're there to help assist the diver in the water.
When I came back, he's not in the water anymore.
And also to switch positions until level 2 response shows up, which is scuba gear.
Yonder, keep that pattern tight.
In Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, level 2 dive is considered scuba gear, which is similar to recreational scuba gear that you would see people going look at reefs and stuff. The only difference is we use a full encapsulated mask, which offers more protection for the divers.
He was dressed in black. He had like long hair. Not sure if it was a guy or a girl, but I did see long hair.
They can don a wetsuit if needed, depending on the conditions. They're going to perform almost a similar type of pattern, search pattern, as level 1, except now the line is actually a communication line. We'll have a person called a tender who will be able to communicate with the first diver, who's the primary diver, and there will be a second diver fully suited, ready to go as a backup diver in case there's an emergency for the primary diver or the first person in the water. And also we have a third person who is a 90% diver, meaning that he's suited up too, except he doesn't have his mask, fins, and snorkel. And he's just sitting on the sideline as another diver. And if we have more divers, we'll create more backup divers. And the primary diver is going to go out to the last seen point where the level 1 snorkel guys were, the snorkel personnel, and they're going to use that as a reference point, and they're going to start their dive from the very last spot that they think the victim was in. In this scenario we performed out here, we actually have a swimmer that's only gone down about 5 minutes before fire rescue came.
It was about 4 or 5 minutes ago.
So we're in what we call a rescue mode, meaning that we can actually save a life, and that's within an hour, similar to the golden hour in trauma.
Acknowledge Rescue 73 from command. How many level 2 divers do you have on your unit?
Out here, the challenges are in any dark water, as it's called, or level 2 diving or dive rescue in general. You're going to have unknown conditions because we're not in a swimming pool. It'll be usually a lake or canal. The water's very dark. Once you go out there and start kicking up the sand, it becomes very turbid. Visibility is usually 1 to 2 feet in front of your face, and you're really relying on your training, the search techniques that we practice, and also the line tender and the other personnel on shore for your safety, because once you go underwater, you really can't see anything, so the tender plays a crucial role. He's connected to the comm lines and the rope, and we use verbal communication, but we also use hand signals, which in case the communication system fails, we can utilize hand signals to inform the diver of the directions we want to go. And we have about 4 basic hand signals that we're going to use. The comm line, or the rope, the tether, is going to be connected to this by a snap shackle. And that allows us to perform hand signals we'll be searching with one hand, rope in the hand, and sweeping with our other hand underwater. We have our mask, and then we also have a comm line that's going to connect to the mask. Through these earbuds, I can communicate with the line tender. And if we lose communication, I can give him 3 tugs, saying that 4 tugs meaning I have an emergency. 3 tugs, I have a victim, for example. So if I locate the victim, I'll give 3 full tugs, and I'll also communicate that I have the victim so that we have a double backup safety.
Taylor! Taylor! Oh my God! Taylor! Oh my God! Taylor! Taylor! Taylor!
Drowning is the second leading cause of death in young people, children, and pretty much in general. And Florida is covered in water. We have one of the highest rates of drowning of children under the age of 12. So it doesn't just always happen in a swimming pool. They could fall off a dock behind their lake. They could fall off a kayak. There's a lot of cases of people falling off paddle boards without PFDs, people falling off kayaks, people falling off boats. We just had one recently where a person fell off a boat at Jupiter Inlet. So there's a lot of situations where a dive will be necessary, and being able to execute that proficiently through lots of training and spreading the knowledge across all the stations in the county.
All right, guys, hey, we just got a call for, looks like a drowning pediatric. All right, the map says go here, make a right, and it'll be your next right. Okay. It's saying, I updated it, it's 7 years old, it's a female. All right, I got 7-year-old here with a hand heavy. You're gonna be airway, cool? We'll do you'll be CPR, I'll be on the monitor, and I'll drill.
I'm very proud to be part of Palm Beach County's dive team and the dive rescue program. I know it's still in its infancy. We're slowly but surely improving every year with training, cooperation amongst BAT 5 and Special Ops. Recently, we had a phone conference to consolidate all our lead players in coordinating our dive program as more of a team concept. And that's what we're working towards, trying to get more of a team concept and trying to eventually inform the other battalions the importance of the dive team and the actions that they can do as initial arriving units in dispatching the dive team, so they know what to expect when we come, that it's going to take a while, but there are things that they can execute to assist us in our incident.